Canada is punching back at Donald Trump after Trump's latest nonstop series of insults at the sovereign nation of Canada. You now have pretty much all of the major political parties in Canada pushing back, punching back at Donald Trump. So Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney, a governor of the Bank of Canada who Trudeau is courting to be his next finance minister, they made posts pushing back or punching back, clapping back at Donald Trump's statements. Here's what Carney posted. He goes, "This is carrying the, quote, joke too far," referring to what Donald Trump said about Canada. "The casual disrespect, the poor tax math, and ignoring that workers on both sides of our border will be better off if we work together. Time to call it out, stand up for Canada, and build a true North American partnership." And then he posts the Canadian flag, the American flag, and the Mexican flag. Again, this is who Trudeau wants to be the next finance minister of Canada. And he's not taking it anymore. He's responding to Donald Trump's post, referring to Justin Trudeau as a governor and saying that Canada would be far better off if it became the 51st state within the United States of America. You may hear my baby girl crying in the background right there if the mic is picking that up. I'm not sure. Justin Trudeau, I love hearing her in the video. Justin Trudeau, on the other hand, posted a YouTube video from the 2010 Vancouver Olympics that talked about the relationship between the United States and Canada and the long-standing relationship there. Trudeau did this to both troll Donald Trump and I think to really educate him and Americans about this long-standing relationship. Let me show you what Justin Trudeau posted. Let me show it to you right here. Let's play it.
This is the Peace Arch standing near the westernmost edge of the U.S.-Canadian border, 30 miles south of the Olympic City, between Blaine and Washington State, and Surrey, British Columbia. This was dedicated in 1921 to commemorate the treaty that ended the War of 1812 between the U.S. and Great Britain. Remember, Canada was a British colony. That was a long time ago, but the inscription on the arch sums up the relationship. May these gates never be closed. We share more than a long border, of course. No dotted line can divide our joint stewardship of a treasure of natural riches. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, and back again. Shorelines, wild rivers, and Great Lakes, vast forest and grasslands, precious ores buried in majestic mountains, and wildlife everywhere. From sea to shining sea. Canada and the United States share another unique quality. They're immigrant nations, destinations for people around the world who long for political freedoms, economic opportunity, and a long tradition of...
So you have Justin Trudeau and Carney from the Liberal Party. You even have Doug Ford at the provincial level, who's the Premier of Ontario. I previously showed you videos of him where he's come out and he goes, "All right, Trump, you do this and we're going to cut off the electricity to the United States." And it's worth noting that Doug Ford and some members of the Conservative Party in Canada were very pro-MAGA, pro-Trump. I mean, you had Doug Ford previously, talking about how his support for Donald Trump would be unwavering. And now he's calling Donald Trump out as well. Take a listen to what Doug Ford previously was telling American media. Play this clip.
About it, as I mentioned to the Prime Minister, the rest of the premiers, we need to be ready. We need to be ready to fight. This fight is coming 100% on January the 20th or January 21st. We don't know what extent this fight's going to go to, but we need to line up everything that we're going to tariff and make sure that the tariff, the money that's coming from these tariffs, don't go into a federal bank account sitting there somewhere. It needs to be immediately distributed right across the province equally, and we'll be able to support the companies, the factories, the workers for any issues that they're facing at the time. So it's a good start.
Did he give you any details of where those retaliatory tariffs would be aimed on American goods?
No, Chrystia Freeland's going to put a list together. We're going to put our list together, and I'm sure the other provinces will as well. But we will go to the full extent, depending on how far this goes. We will go to the extent of cutting off their energy, going down to Michigan, going down to New York State, and over to Wisconsin. I don't want this to happen, but my number one job is to protect Ontarians and Canadians as a whole, since we're the largest province.
All right, so you have Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party at the federal level. I just showed you Doug Ford at the provincial level. He's the Premier of Ontario. And now I'll show you the NDP, New Democratic Party, their position. You have Charlie Angus, member of the NDP, more on the left even than the Liberal Party, if you want to, I guess, make those types of labels. And Angus came on the MeidasTouch network. He gave that incredible floor speech, which we had previously highlighted as well. And here's what Angus told us, member of Parliament, about about how American media is acting like, oh, well, Trump's just teasing invading nations. He's teasing it. Here's what Angus had to say. Let's play it.
Watching some of the response in the U.S. media, CNN stated, oh, he's just teasing. What, teasing about taking over other countries? But then they said that, hey, it'd be a great deal for Americans to be bigger than the Louisiana Purchase. There's no such thing as teasing when you're threatening the sovereignty of independent nations. And I think for a lot of us, we just thought Donald sort of acted like the buffoon, but he wasn't that stupid. But here's a man who, when Putin launched his murderous war in Ukraine, praised Putin, said he was savvy, said he was a genius, and he has one of his Putin trolls taking up one of the key places in his new administration. So his disregard for Ukrainian sovereignty sent, I think, a very, very chilling message. His attacks on Panama, his attacks on Greenland, his attacks on Canada are sending a message that he doesn't respect the international order in terms of the rights of nations. And we have to start taking that, I think, a lot more seriously.
And here's another clip from that interview I did with Angus. Let's play it.
I thought he was punky. I thought it was people were pulling my chain. I'm at a Christmas gathering and people are like, hey, did you see Donald Trump's telling us to go to hell and he's going to take us over? And it's like, yeah, stop playing games. It's Christmas. Nobody's that mean and that vicious and stupid on Christmas Day. But whoa, I was wrong. There's Donald Trump, the man that so many evangelical people thought he was representing Jesus. That's how he spends Christmas Day. I felt I needed to respond because not only is he threatening us, but he's telling us how great it would be. I'm sorry, Donald. You got a country. In our country, we believe that healthcare should be accessible to all and that assault weapons should not. And you don't have the same viewpoint at all. We got 48,000 gun deaths in the United States last year. We had 289 in Canada. And we got a lot of registered gun owners. I'm a registered gun owner. We don't want what you're selling, Don.
And I previously asked Angus about 2 weeks ago or so what his message was to Donald Trump. And he goes, it's that Canada's not scared of you. Here, play this clip.
We're not going to be slapped around like this. I think there's a tradition in Canada of not wanting to be openly confrontive, which is fair. I think that's who we are. But Donald Trump's a different kind of animal. He's playing for the rage algorithms. And I don't think we should allow him that free reign. So for me, it was really simple. Standing up and saying, no, we're going to have tough negotiations, fair play. But this kind of dismissive, idiotic behavior, I mean, he's a juvenile, and I invite Donald Trump, come up anytime in the winter, Donald, try and drive our roads, try and win an argument with any woman in Canada, try and take us on anything where we are very comfortable at. We're pretty tough and resilient people.
So I show you those perspectives right there because, you have Liberal Party, you have NDP, you have federal, you have provincial. And so, it seems to be a kind of a prevailing view right now at Canada from all parties at federal and provincial level that you're going to stand up to Donald Trump. that they're going to be good neighbors, and I love Trudeau putting that video on. And I like that the potential new finance minister, Mark Carney's out there, with a strong statement like that. I think a strong statement like that's needed. Anyway, tell me what you think. Hit subscribe and let's get to 4 million subscribers together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.